Hello everybody, and welcome to the Sovereign Village Project. I wanted to talk more about the Nashville situation and offer kind of my perspective as somebody who has worked up and down that street for a long time. As a musician, I played Broadway and 2nd Street, that main impacted area, for years. I played primarily over there. And so I'm very aware of what's been happening on the ground there, and I think I can offer an interesting perspective that will relate to you as well. And that is that there's been a war waged on those businesses for over a year. From the start of when the media decided to start covering the pandemic, the mayor immediately instituted draconian lockdowns on the businesses of that street. He didn't enforce them hardly anywhere else, just right there. And it later came out that he was basing it on about like 15 case counts, but construction continued unabated in the town, despite thousands of cases being tracked to it. So it was clear that he was shutting down these businesses and locking them down. He was instituting curfews that killed their prime business hours based on no scientific reason. It was just to lock them down, just to crush their businesses. And they put up with it. I encouraged every bar owner to resist. I told them that people would come to his business and protect it from his enforcers, but they wouldn't do it. And I told them it wouldn't end well for them. I told them he's determined to shut you down. He's acting for much more powerful people. They're going to shut you down, destroy your business, and they're going to put sustainable development pod housing over there. They would not listen. And so they continued complying and following all the rules as he made them worse and worse. They had bars scanning people as they came in. They had them banning dancing in a bar. They had them making everyone sit at their tables and yelling at them. The bouncers were basically acting like cops. And still, he just wouldn't let off the hammer. He just kept crushing those businesses. Then he threw a 34% property tax increase on the top of that in the middle of all of this as they're struggling to survive. And he sent his cops to enforce the tourists, and his cops enforced the bar owners. There's load-in parking that's really crucial for the bar owners and musicians, and he sends cops to go harass the people as they're loading in, and it gives them tickets even though they're using the load-in zone as a load-in zone. And so they leverage their power, the power of violence, of enforcement, which they do through their police, to crush these businesses. And it still wasn't working. A lot of them are old legacy bars that were hanging on. They had a lot of cash reserves. They weren't giving in. And so they got bombed. If nothing else works, you just use a bomb. No need to be subtle. And now that incredibly valuable real estate there on 2nd Avenue, right by the river, is finally available for their sustainable development, and it will happen. And the mayor is already making moves to connect it all with public transportation and turn it into one of their hellscapes of a smart city. So be aware that there's a war on you. It looks like a war. It is a war. There's bombed out streets. Go look at the footage. It's a real, true war. They're taking what people have. They're throwing people into concentration camps. I can't make that any more clear than I have in my videos. There's a real penal camp. It's a penal institution. The government calls it a penal institution, and they admittedly put people in there without due process or trial. They're scooping up the homeless in Nashville and throwing them into a penal camp or a detainment camp, whatever you want to call it. That's what it is. It's the same camp that we built for the Japanese. It's the same as what happened in Germany. It's the same as what happened to the gulags in Russia. Every totalitarian takeover is exactly the same, and that's what is happening, and it's a war on you. So really wake up to that and start acting accordingly. If you act now while you still can have a voice, if you act now while you can still get the tools you need, it's going to be a lot easier to fight than if we wait. So everyone, please wake up and please fight this agenda. I'm tired of watching the businesses and the lives and the health and the wealth and liberty of my friends and my fellow citizens be destroyed by these tyrants. So please stand up, please wake up, and please start taking action. In the meantime, everybody stay safe, be well, and happy homesteading.